Alright, let's set the scene. We're going way back in time, long before any of us were here, to a place called Heian period Japan. Think of it as the very first season. The word samurai comes from saburao, which means to serve. That's the core of it all. Service. Samurai emerged during the Heian period as provincial warriors, retainers for wealthy landowners, hired to protect estates from bandits and rival clans. These early warriors were skilled in archery and in horseback riding. They were loyal. They formed small, tight-knit alliances and pledged themselves to lords. Out in the provinces, landowners needed protection. And slowly the samurai's reputation and influence began to grow. This is where the seeds of the great samurai clans were planted. Taira, Minamoto. Two powerful alliances forming on opposite sides of the island. As the central government in Kyoto weakened, real power began to shift to those who could command loyalty and wield a sword. The stage was being set. Okay, so you have these two massive alliances, the Taira, the Minamoto. They've been sizing each other up for a while. The tension is thick. The Genpei War was a brutal 5-year conflict that decided the fate of Japan. They outplayed the Taira at every turn, culminating in the decisive naval battle of Dan no Ura. With the Taira vanquished, Minamoto no Yoritomo stood alone. He created a new title for himself, Shogun, the Great General, and in 1192 established the Kamakura Shogunate, samurai rule. The emperor stayed in Kyoto as a revered figure, but real power had shifted to the shogun and his samurai in Kamakura. The samurai were now the ruling military class. They had their own laws, courts, and land grants. This changed Japan for centuries. Just when the samurai thought they had the game locked down, a new threat appeared on the horizon. The Mongol Empire, led by Kublai Khan, had conquered much of Asia and now set its eyes on Japan. Twice, in 1274, and again in 1281, massive invasion fleets sailed for Japan. The samurai and local defenders rallied at Hakata Bay. They fought with courage against overwhelming odds. The Mongols used massed formations, gunpowder bombs, and overwhelming numbers, a different kind of war than the samurai expected. Both times a massive typhoon, later called the kamikaze, the divine wind, smashed the invasion fleets to pieces. The samurai were hailed as saviors, but the shogunate couldn't deliver promised land and rewards. Finances were strained. Unpaid stipends and empty promises created resentment. The bonds of loyalty began to fray, and powerful regional lords, daimyo, grew stronger. This erosion of central power set the stage for the Sengoku Jidai, the age of warring states. For over a century, Japan fractured into a free-for-all. Daimyo fought daimyo for land and power. Out of the chaos, 3 extraordinary figures emerged: Oda Nobunaga, Toyotomi Hideyoshi, and Tokugawa Ieyasu. Nobunaga shattered old tactics by using firearms and volley tactics, changing the face of samurai warfare. Hideyoshi rose from humble origins, avenged Nobunaga, and completed much of the unification. He consolidated power with policies like the sword hunts, freezing status lines between warriors and peasants. After his death, alliances unraveled, setting up the final decisive struggle. The Battle of Sekigahara, 1600, a chess match of alliances, ended with Tokugawa Ieyasu victorious. Ieyasu founded the Tokugawa Shogunate, 1603, and moved the capital to Edo, beginning 250 years of relative peace and stability. With warfare ended, samurai adapted into bureaucrats, scholars, and administrators, while Bushido evolved as an idealized code. During the Tokugawa era, Japan enjoyed long peace. Samurai kept status but lost battle practice. Many lived on stipends and became bureaucrats. Systems like Sankin Kotai and the Han domains structured power. Daimyo spent alternating years in Edo under shogunal rules. Samurai patronized arts, tea ceremony, no theater, ink painting, and studied Confucian classics. Han schools taught law and math. Martial schools, ryuha, codified techniques. But on the battlefield, weapons evolved toward yari and matchlocks after 1543. Bushido was romanticized in the Edo peace. Texts, like Hagakure, reflect nostalgia. Seppuku existed as ritualized honor under Tokugawa law. Peace swelled the ranks of Ronin, and many samurai fell into debt. Merchant wealth often outpaced stipend-bound warriors. Edo's stability produced cultural refinement and bureaucratic power, but also contradictions, ideals versus daily realities. The next shock would change everything. In 1853, American warships, the Black Ships, arrived, demanding Japan open to trade. It was a massive shock. Japan realized how far behind it was in technology and military power. crisis sparked a movement to revere the emperor, expel the barbarians. Sono Joa. Domains like Satsuma and Choshu mobilized. After a brief civil war, pro-imperial forces won, and the Tokugawa shogunate fell in 1868. The Meiji government pursued rapid modernization and westernization to survive in the world. They created a conscript army and abolished the samurai monopoly on arms. In 1876, the Hattori banned wearing swords in public. Stipends were converted to bonds. Many samurai lost status, income, and purpose. The Satsuma Rebellion, 1877, led by Saigō Takamori, was the last large samurai uprising. They fought bravely, but were crushed by modern rifles and artillery. Saigō died, and with that the samurai's era as a military force came to an end. The swords were put away, the topknots were cut. But did the samurai really disappear? Not a chance. Many former samurai became officers, educators, bureaucrats, businessmen, and industrial leaders. Iwasaki Yataro, founder of Mitsubishi, came from a samurai family. Strategy moved into commerce. The samurai's discipline, loyalty, and focus, qualities like gamen, became embedded in work, craftsmanship, and education. Martial arts evolved into modern budo, kendo, judo, iaido, training methods adapted for police, sport, and culture. Tea ceremony, calligraphy, meticulous craft. The samurai aesthetic moved into everyday Japanese life and industry. Many samurai families became statesmen, business leaders, and educators. Their legacy shaped modern Japan. The institutional class ended, but the strategy, discipline, and honor lived on, repurposed into national modernization and cultural identity. Every great game has its legendary players. Miyamoto Musashi, master swordsman, Ronin, and author of The Book of Five Rings. Tomoe Gozen shows women could fight. The 47 Ronin remain the ultimate loyalty legend, a national drama of revenge and honor. Bushido, the way of the warrior, was an evolving ideal, romanticized in peace. It emphasized loyalty, courage, honor, and compassion. Seppuku was a ritualized, solemn practice, not common to everyone, and used to preserve honor in a world where shame mattered. The idealized samurai and historical reality often diverge. Samurai were noble, ruthless, poor, powerful, bureaucrats, and warriors all at once. Akira Kurosawa's films, Seven Samurai, Yojimbo, Ran, shaped the modern image of the samurai and inspired Hollywood. Manga and anime, Rurouni Kenshin, Samurai Champloo, and games like Ghost of Tsushima and Sekiro bring samurai themes to global audiences. Why do we love the samurai? They embody discipline, skill, a code, and the drama of duty versus self, a timeless archetype that outlived its era. Before you go, make sure to subscribe to Tommy James Most Random and don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching.